It's time to make something happen, where a local conversation makes a global impact. Executive producer, Altogether Marketing LLC. Producer, Audrey M. Wiggins. This is a Mason Wiggins Media Group production.
One of the most fundamental parts of doing business on the web is keeping your customers' information safe. Fear of hacking and other security breaches still makes a lot of people jittery about disclosing their credit card numbers and other private information online, like their home address and telephone number. And if they suspect that it could be compromised when they make a transaction on your site, they're going to take their business elsewhere. That's why you need an SSL certificate for your website.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I'm Audrey Wiggins, and it is time to make something happen. What a local conversation making a global impact. Here on MakeSomethingHappen.TV, we empower, we educate, we entertain, inspire, and make an impact. And that impact today is going to be made by none other than the Dr. Robert L. Lawson. He is an educator, an author, and a motivational speaker. He's written about 12 books, and we're excited to share with you today about the series that he has put together, and he's not done yet. It's all about greatness. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on over to Dr. Lawson.
Well, good morning, Audrey. It's certainly a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to what you have to say today and share with our readers. And before we get started, altogether, we want to talk about and make a tribute to today is Memorial Day. And something we don't normally do is record and edit and broadcast on the same day. So we're challenging ourselves to do that because we really want to make an impact today with our show with Dr. Lawson. He's going to be sharing from his book, Beyond Greatness. I'm excited about that as well. And so God bless all our fallen soldiers as we commemorate this day. We give a quick silence here for our soldiers, including my dad, Rufus Wiggins, and my uncle, Thomas Mason. Thank you for making that tribute. So we're back live here with Dr. Lawson. Dr. Lawson, welcome again.
Thank you so much. Again, it's such a tremendous pleasure to be here.
Okay, so what do you have for us today? What's happening?
Well, I thought maybe I would start by reading a poem for Memorial Day.
Oh, cool.
And it's called The Soldier. But before I read it, I would just simply like to say that my grandfather served in the Spanish-American War. My uncle was also in the armed services. My youngest son, Michael, is actually stationed in the state of Washington, and he's in the Navy. So I have on my Navy tie today.
All right, it looks good too. Love that.
Yeah. And this poem is called The Soldier, and it goes like this. Courage is the watchword for the soldiers on the post. When your back's against the wall, you can count on them the most. When you chase uncommon greatness, there is much you have to learn. For the valleys you must go through, bear the stripes that you must earn. You're the captain of your vessel as you launch upon the sea. And as you navigate, you learn. If it's to be, it's up to me. You're a warrior, battle-tested. You're the captain of your ship. If you desire to capture greatness, there are mountains you must grip. Legends loom before you, and their mighty deeds are vast. Your desire to live amongst them means you must complete the task. You're a mighty, gifted soldier, and it's time to stake your claim. You're a heroine or a hero, though the world knows not your name. And I just wanted to share that.
Wow, that's awesome. Since I forgot to mention, like, we're doing virtual here, so I'm just going to give you a virtual hand clap there. That's fantastic. Thank you. So, I know, I've met you a little over a year ago now, and maybe a year and a half. And, it's been quite a journey getting to know you and other members of this particular organization that you're part of, called the Transformational Dream Team. But before we get too much into that, I wanted to, share with our readers, a little bit about you, I know you're considered a scholar. I'm going to take this right out of your bio here in your book that you were just reading from, Beyond Greatness. So that was, thank you again, for that. But you're considered a scholar with tremendous expertise in the field of human potential development. That is, that's amazing. Even right there, it says you're an outstanding presenter and professional speaker who mixes humor with wit, inspiration, and fact while leaving your audiences both spellbound and empowered. You currently live in Portsmouth, Ohio, which is it's just south of Columbus, Ohio.
It's 2 hours south. 2 hours south.
2 hours south of Columbus. Okay,
Uh-huh.
awesome. And when he is not teaching or lecturing, he is giving empowering presentations around the globe. And his most requested keynote address is Destined for Greatness. And before this, our time is over today, you're going to know why exactly. I mentioned before that he's the author of more than 12 books. So we're excited about that. So definitely you're going to have to go to his website, robert-lawson.com. Is that the correct address?
That is. That's
Robert,
perfect.
awesome. robert-lawson.com. And maybe before the show's over, we can get his website up and we can take a look at it. It's brand new, it's shiny, and all of that good stuff. So you'll be able to plug into what he's doing, where he's been, and all the different titles that you can plug into as well, and make gifts out of them. These books are this is not something for you to keep to yourself. This is something for you to buy and savor, but buy an extra one because somebody needs this word. All right, Dr. Lawson, what's happening? What's happening?
Well,
oh, gosh.
You said a mouthful right there, and I would certainly like for all of our listeners and viewers to realize and understand that we have a fabulous conference coming up, and that's the Destined for Greatness conference that's going to be held on June the 13th. You're going to be a presenter, and you're going to be telling people an awful lot about social media, if they have a service, a product, a gift, or a skill that they want to push out there and serve. So folks who want to get registered for this should go to tdt.solutions, and that will put them right where it is that they need to be. Yeah. And there will be other various speakers, and I will be one of those speakers. And of course, my topic is literally going to be Destined for Greatness.
And let me ask you something about that. Sure. Destined for Greatness. A lot of your books, you have the series that we alluded to earlier. But how did you come to that greatness piece of it? Tell us about that. That discovery or that feeling.
That's something that God literally placed on my heart years ago. The whole concept of greatness. So in 1994, the first book was born, and that one was actually called Destined for Greatness. And a number of years later, actually in 2017, I followed up with the sequel. And the sequel is Greatness Awaits. Mm-hmm. And both of those are pretty much prose books. But the third one is a book of poetry, and that's the one that's currently in print now. Well, they're all in print, but the latest of that series is Beyond Greatness. It's the one that you were just holding up. And then, of course, there will be another one that follows that. It's kind of like, when J.K. Rowling came out with the whole fantasy series of books that she was writing, I kept thinking, that's fantasy, and that's awesome. People need an escape. But what about real life? So I wanted to create a series that individuals could read and literally just stay motivated as they move from one level of success to the next. So that's why I kind of stuck with real life as opposed to fantasy.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Bob, for sharing with us about your books and the Destined for Greatness series, how that came into being. And there's other books you've written, you're co-authored. You've got books for children on financing or finances. There's another book about Dare to Be a Millionaire. There's with the workbook. Want to share with us about that right now?
That was a brainchild that came out of when I was teaching at Georgetown Junior Senior High School. I had a group of freshmen, And I asked them to raise their hands one day if anybody in class was interested in making a few extra dollars. It was really interesting because every hand in the class went up. And I said, wow, that's interesting. So everybody would like to be making a little bit of money. And so what I did was I was inspired by my students so much that I actually came up with a book called Piggy Bank Basics. And, you know, for the little kids. Then I followed that up with another one called What Every Teenager Needs to Know About Money, because nobody was really teaching kids how to earn, how to save, how to invest, and how to eliminate debt. I call it the EASY system, ESIE, earn, save, invest, and eliminate debt. Take a stab at that and just see if we can give kids some pointers. And then the third one out of the series was called Dare to Be a Millionaire. You know, you can write a book even if you aren't a millionaire because you're making steps to get there. So that book contains some great information from a historical perspective about Roth IRAs and how the power of compound interest, and something that Benjamin Franklin said years ago, which is money makes money, and the money that money makes money. So you have to figure out the power of compound interest is actually considered to be the eighth wonder of the world. Because if people have a little bit of money and they know kind of where to place it in terms of the stock market or what have you, as opposed to putting it in a savings account where it's only going to draw 0.5% interest, those are the skills that people need to know. Where can I put my money so that I can make it grow? So, and it also contains a goal setting formula that I picked up from Zig Ziglar years and years ago. That is also a part of that. In fact, it's a part of everything that I teach, where you identify your goal, you set a deadline to achieve it, you determine the obstacles that impede your progress, you determine who's going to work with you, you put a plan of action together, and then you start to prepare to enjoy the benefits.
So all of that is in Piggy Bank Basics. Wow.
Yeah, all of that is in Piggy Bank Basics, and also Dare to Be a Millionaire.
Wow. So we have got to buy those two plus the workbook, because the workbook there available as well. So we need to get there. So we're talking about this. It's almost like we're going grocery shopping and we get the different kinds of pieces to go together. We need a veggie, we need a protein, we need a starch.
That's right. That's how it works.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah. So again, folks, drrobert-lawson.com. You can go to his website and pick those up and make a set out of it, make it a gift for a young person in your life, but maybe also for yourself. Because some of us, you know, we've lived long and we really haven't honed our skills into saving, investing, and what it really means, you know, changing our mindset. What do we think about money? What's our relationship to money? Can we find those types of things in those books as well?
Very powerful concepts and ideas, and certainly those ideas and concepts that I'm talking about were here a long time, you know, before either one of us ever graced the face of this planet. But one of the old adages is, people used to say, if you want to hide something from people, put it in a book. And what we need to do is to help people to figure out that a lot of the gold, that a lot of the secrets, that a lot of the things that they really need to be discovering and finding out are really hidden in the pages of books. The information is there. People just have to study it and understand how they can take and apply it to their lives.
Absolutely. That was powerful right there for sure. We've got to open up those pages, whether they're you know, physical like here, or for, you know, we're doing the Kindle thing on our devices. Yes, absolutely. drrobert-lawson.com. Again, he's an author, a motivational speaker, and an educator. And certainly today we're hoping to be educated, motivated, you know, today as well, from the things that he's sharing with us from the books that he's authored and his life experience. He's been on this planet a few years, and so we can definitely glean from his experience and his teaching that he gives freely. So he's not trying to hide it up under a bushel. This is how we leave legacies. Whether, you know, not just to our families, but to, you know, our communities and the greater community at large. So we definitely appreciate that. So Dr. Lawson, Tell us about, oh my goodness, your just your part of your journey. You know, where you've been in life, and because out of your out of your bowels, you come through these powerful for writings. You sit up there on social media, and sometimes the stuff just flows, and new things are coming to you all the time, and you're putting them out there. So tell us, I want to share more about just about your journey, and you have how many sons?
I have three sons.
You have
One,
three.
yeah, my oldest, Robert, he is living in Texas right now. My son, James Lawson, he is living in Columbus. And as I mentioned earlier, Mike is in the state of Washington.
Yeah. So what about them? Have they taken on any spark, or what have they learned from Dad?
Well, hopefully a little bit. I've made an effort to inspire them over the years, but every single individual has his or her own journey, in terms of where it is that they want to go and what it is that they want to do. We can only hope for the best. We can't live our lives for our children. We can't live through them. We have to be responsible for our own lives. And at the same time, a part of our legacy and a part of our journey are those individuals whose lives that we can touch as we continue to move forward ourselves. And, I've been an educator and an administrator my entire life. I began my educational career at Gallia Academy High School in Gallipolis and taught for 4 years, went to Marshall University, worked there for 13 years, went to Shawnee State, then to Georgetown Junior Senior High School, then from there to Chillicothe High, and now I'm at the Ohio Valley Christian School in Gallipolis, Ohio. So I'm currently responsible for teaching language arts, grades 7 through 12. And the impetus of what it is that I do is not just to focus on the subject matter, but to build the entire person, from the ground up. Try to get inside their heads and help them to understand the value of picking up a good book, for example, or watching a good show and seeing what you can glean from it to be able to benefit other individuals as well as yourself. You said that so well earlier. Pick up a book, open it, find out what's in there that you're going to be able to utilize, and then use that information to help other people. And that's going to be a big part of what you and I and others are going to be talking about, relevant to the conference that we're holding on June the 13th for those individuals who want to go to tdt.solutions in order to get registered for it. That's a lot of powerful dynamic that's going to be going down that day.
Absolutely. And your son James is actually going to be part of that. And that's one apple that didn't fall far from the tree, because he's going to be talking about, wealth and, wellness in the wealth category, I should say. And, finances and different things we can do. We'll be partnering up with one of our other members, Julius Cartwright. So I'm excited to really, hear from your son, a young person, is out there making things happen.
Well, I think, yeah, and that's a good key. And I'm thrilled that you mentioned that combination. I mean, Julius Cartwright, has established the Equity Movement magazine and is really into real estate. So that's another whole arena, because everybody needs to understand how all this works. It's kind of like what you said earlier about there being a smorgasbord whenever you go into a grocery store and
Right.
try to figure out. That's a good analogy. It really is, because some of the stuff that you put in your cart, you're not going to use today, but that doesn't mean that you can't make a salami or a bologna sandwich or something else tomorrow. In terms of what do you need, and what are the ingredients? Some of them are richer than others, but on a certain given day, you have to have a variety of different things to choose from. Would you mind if I shared one of the poems out of Beyond Greatness?
Oh, that would be awesome. Please do.
Okay. We are all at various stages of our lives, and the capstone of the Beyond Greatness book is embodied in the poem Beyond Greatness. And I think that people can relate to this based upon where it is that they might be in life. But it goes like this. It's called Beyond Greatness. And it says, when you've scaled the highest mountain and you've cracked the secret code. There's a joy from on high as you retrieve the mother lode. As you ponder on this moment to rekindle hope anew, you can feel the Spirit's urging. There is more for you to do. Even though you've reached the summit and you have found the things you seek, your work is yet unfinished. You must build upon that peak. You must understand the nature of this truly sacred quest as you honor God's deposit through the time that you invest. Though you've scaled the highest mountain, there are others still to climb. You can etch your heart in stone, make your legacy sublime. Be that star atop the mountain for which all others aim. Unleash God's inner greatness. Stand tall and stake your claim. For the one who guides your footsteps, walking side by side with you, is invisible to many, but revealed to a few. Your obedience to the Master who infiltrates your heart, says the Spirit to the soul, I am the God who started start. Now, Beyond Greatness has over 100 poems that are in it. And they're all powerful in their own right. But you can pick up that book on any given day, open it to a particular page, and be filled with some powerful information that encourages you to keep moving forward. Whether you have little money, whether you have some money, whether you have a lot of money, because every person is always seeking that next level. And so the information is there to meet you at the level that is going to be most beneficial for you. And then when you get done, you buy and you share with other people. This book is so good that I don't mind giving a large number of copies away, because when people find out just exactly how good it is, they are going to want other people to do it. I've always dreamed of writing a book that was so good, I wanted to give it away. And this helped me to accomplish that objective.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Amazing. And you hit when you read that last piece there, it was like, okay, hit that website. robert-lawson.com and do the same thing. Buy one and buy a second one and give that away. I mean, it is something, it is a gift. I mean, to unwrap something, like this and have that in somebody else's life that you care about. This is powerful. And, you read, the title piece, Beyond Greatness. That was fantastic. And I don't really, at this point, I don't want to spoil it any longer with any comments or anything here, unless there's something else, Dr. Lawson, that you want to leave us with out of your vast storehouse of courage, encouragement, empowerment, and it's just so much that you've accumulated over the years, and that you've actually tapped into when you talked about, destined for greatness. And we've all heard the saying that, greatness is inside of us. I know most of my adult life, I always knew, and I had voiced it, that everything that I ever needed is inside. But we don't always have the power as an individual to bring that out, to be able to act upon what we have, like what's in our hands. So we need somebody else to actually help bring that out. And you are definitely one of those people. So if you want to, express, to that statement, and we can go ahead and close it out.
Okay. Well, Audrey, first of all, I just want to thank you for having me as a guest on your show today. It was such an awesome opportunity to have the ability to be able to work with you and to be able to just share a few ideas. None of this is new. Years ago, I picked up a book by Napoleon Hill, and it was called Think and Grow Rich. And inside that book, it's the kind of book that would literally change a person's life. And it definitely was one of the things that put me on the right track. Because a quote that's in that book was this: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Mm-hmm. So the real key, or the crux of the matter for every individual in our society, is how strongly do you truly believe in the talents, the skills, the abilities that God has given you? Because the more strongly you are able to believe, the more effective you're going to be, and the more you're going to be able to accomplish. And in the conference, if I would just be able to say one more thing about that, in the session that I do that's called Destined for Greatness, I'm going to talk about 7 key principles, and I'll just mention what they are. It's motivation, action, making a commitment, being willing to change, enthusiasm, attitude, and determination. If individuals can inculcate those 7 principles into their psychological mind and utilize them effectively, it's amazing what they are going to be able to accomplish. We get what we ask for. We get what it is that we do. If we ask for poverty, we wind up with it. If we ask for wealth and riches, it's not in the money. It's in the person that can generate the ability to be able to do incredibly great things. So thank you for the opportunity to serve. And I look forward to working with you side by side on June the 13th as you help us to navigate and facilitate everything that we're going to be doing on that day, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do it.
You are so welcome. Oh my gosh. And thank you too for coming and sharing with us today to help us to be able to make something happen with the greatness that's inside of us, because that is our destiny. And I just can't express enough the importance of what Dr. Robert Lawson has shared with us today. So remember, hit his website, robert-lawson.com, and so you can be empowered, be blessed beyond measure with everything that's already in you. And like you said, these things aren't new, and we just have to embrace them and do them. All right. And I love the quote from Napoleon Hill that you shared with us, Dr. Lawson. You know, that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, but we have to believe it, right?
Absolutely. That's the key.
Yes. Then we can achieve.
Absolutely.
Achieve that. All right.
All right.
Wakanda forever. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again. I want you to enjoy your holiday here, Memorial Day. And wow, I look forward to, to being with you and James, your son, and the other 10 speakers on June 13th.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Have a great day. And you enjoy your holiday as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, folks, that's it. And you've been watched another webisode of MakeSomethingHappen.TV with our guest, Dr. Robert L. Lawson. Remember to plug into his website, robert-lawson.com, pick up his books, hear his writings. And if you're looking for a speaker, a coach, definitely, plug into him, utilize his services. All that information you'll find on his website. And so again, you go out and you make something happen in your community. To showcase on MakeSomethingHappen.TV or appear on any of our web shows, email studio@mwmg.tv. That's studio@mwmg.tv.